And then okay, let's talk about how you met Jeff.
He came over to Bob and Joyce
Okay, do you remember when that was?
early when I got there, a couple days after I got there.
Thane says he met Jeff when he first got to Bob and Joyce's house. Let me give you some context on who Bob and Joyce are and how they fit into this story. Bob and Joyce Strout were an elderly couple who lived just down the road from Jeffrey Ryan's trailer. Thane had been staying with them for only a few weeks leading up to the murders, claiming he was there to help with chores around their property, like tending to Bob's chickens, working in Joyce's garden, and doing odd jobs. To neighbors, he appeared to be just another young man down on his luck, given shelter by a kind family. But what's particularly interesting is what happened immediately after the murders. Within days of the bodies being discovered, Bob Strout drove Thane 300 miles south to Dover, New Hampshire, effectively removing him from the investigation zone. For someone who claimed to barely know the victims, it was curious timing. While police were desperately searching for a killer, and while the community lived in fear, Thane Ormsby was settling into a new life in another state, believing he had committed the perfect crime.
You talked about earlier how you went up there and you stayed for
There was just
a couple
a
weeks,
week
and then you came back.
to-
Are you talking that Jeff
No.
met you during that time?
No,
Or
no, I've never
This
met Jeff.
time when you're coming up.
This time, I met him when I was up there to stay,
This day.
while I was staying there.
Okay.
And he came over a couple days after I got there.
Okay. And tell me about that conversation. How'd that go?
We didn't really have a conversation. I mean, he came in and he talked to Bob and Joy, and I was there, and they introduced me. They said, "Oh yeah, this is Thane."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, Maria's son."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." I shook his hand because I'd never met him before.
And you knew at this point that he is Mariah's father.
Yeah, I know that.
Mhm. And you guys hit it off? I hit it all off?
Yeah, we get along.
Uh-huh.
That's we were cool.
Mhm.
He said, "Come on over." Blah blah blah.
How long was he there and stuff?
Half an hour.
Half hour or so.
20 minutes.
Was the little boy not there
No.
at this point?
No. He was with his mother.
Yeah, then it was in there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at some point Jeff leaves after a half hour, so Jeff leaves?
Yeah, he was.
Okay. And you stay at the house
I had gone up there.
that same day? Or when I'm so confused about when you went, because you said before that you asked him to try to get you a job and stuff.
I asked him about work.
Work. Right.
I asked him if he could find me any work, and I went back up to check and see if he had any work, if he
That
heard
day.
anything. Yeah.
That day, right?
Yeah.
And then you, at some point, you went back though, and that's when he told you that I'm having a hard time trying to find you a job. I'm having a hard time getting work. You went there once.
He didn't know of anything.